Today I'm at the University of Chapel Hill talking to Emma, a public policy major with an interest in international politics. She doesn't know what we'll be talking about, just that it'll be thought-provoking. So will Emma consider making an individual change, or does she think that's the role of the government? So first question, it's okay to enslave and kill someone as long as they have a low IQ or some sort of cognitive impairment?
No.
Solid no on that one?
Solid no.
Okay. It's okay to kill or enslave someone if you're in like a position of power over them?
No.
Okay, not there either.
No.
All right. What about if they can't speak your language or like for some reason they can't learn your language?
Yeah, definitely no to all of this.
No noise? Okay, hard nose. Let's say we like found an island of Neanderthals, right? Would it be okay to kill and enslave them because they like weren't humans?
No, I don't think so, no.
So like, let's go back to the first one. Why wouldn't it be okay to kill and enslave someone with like a low IQ? Like, why would that be wrong?
I just think it's wrong to put that power on like another human, and even if they have a lower IQ than you, they're still a person, so I just don't think that's right.
Okay. And for all those, it seemed like you were like, those were pretty like hard nosed. Like it wasn't like you were like, maybe, like it felt like these are like very solid, like obvious.
Yeah.
Three answers. Okay. So those are the first questions. You feeling good so far? Okay. So these might get a little harder. Okay. So do you eat cows, chickens, pigs, eggs, milk?
Yes.
Anything like that? All the above, some of the above?
Yes, all of the above.
In the production of those, do you think those animals are killed and or enslaved?
I mean, yeah, I guess that's what it is, because yeah.
And so how bad do you think the conditions typically are for those animals? Like a scale of 0 to 10?
I honestly don't know. I've seen some things that they're not very good. Like I forget what it was, but there was this documentary that came out a couple years ago. It might have been about like the pig industry or something like that, but I'm sure the conditions aren't great.
I think your intuitions are correct there. Do you mind if I show you a quick like 1 minute video about like what happens to, let's say, pigs in the industry? Okay, awesome. Can you maybe just tell me like if there's any emotions that you're experiencing right now? Like happiness, sadness, disgust?
Yeah, I would say disgust and sadness. It was like fairly obvious. That's really disgusting and horrifying. Yeah, I don't know what to say really. That seems awful.
Yeah. If you were, for instance, like, I guess if you were in the slaughterhouse with those pigs, what sort of like good justification do you think you could give that pig for why like we're paying to put them in the gas chamber?
I would give okay.
Like, if you were talking to the pig and you had to justify to them like why you're paying for them to go in the gas chamber, what do you think you'd say?
I mean, honestly, I don't really think there is. I think like if we were in I was gonna say if we were in a different time and we didn't have the kind of technology and agriculture that we do now to sustain off of plants and non-living things, but there were hunters and there was gatherers back in the early days of humanity, so I don't think I could give any justification for that. Yeah, I see the parallel you're trying to point out, that yeah, pigs are one of the most intelligent animals, and even kind of basing things off of intelligence seems like a little bit unjust inherently, so yeah, I guess I don't see a justification for that necessarily.
That's awesome. I mean, you got to that way quicker than most people do, so thanks for being open-minded about it. Yeah. Do you think that, cutting out those products from your life is something you could do?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm not sure I don't know a ton about, I've just started living on my own, I'm 19. Okay. So I don't know a ton about food costs and everything because I have a meal plan on campus, but I could definitely do it on campus, and I think colleges make it accessible, and so I think I personally could. It wouldn't be hard, but I do think it might be a little bit more difficult for people of lower means, because I know eating vegetarian can be expensive, and a lot of my friends are vegetarian or vegan, and they talk about the costs that they accrue from that and how it's a little bit more difficult, but so yeah, I think that's the only holdup, but yeah.
What if I told you that, there's been a bunch of studies that show that vegan and vegetarian diets are actually cheaper than most omnivorous diets?
That'd be great. I think that's the only thing I feel like is stopping some people besides people who don't agree about it being inhumane or like don't kind of see that. So yeah, I think that kind of solves the issue.
Yeah, I'll tell you personally, like my grocery bill hasn't gone up, and a lot of weeks it actually goes down. Some of like the cheapest things like legumes, beans, soy, they're actually pretty cheap to purchase compared to like buying like fish or steak or something like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but it sounds like you could do it right now, is what you were saying.
Yeah, I think I'd have to talk to probably actual vegetarians with meal plans on campus, but I think for college students, most public universities at least have good options. There's this whole section for it, so I could definitely.
Yeah. And we're talking, sorry if I didn't, we're talking vegan here, so also eggs and milk would be like along that thing.
Okay.
Because
I think that would be more difficult, but I think they do have a vegan. I think it's just labeled vegan, and then vegetarians can go there. But so I think take planning for sure, but it seems like the costs of not doing that are pretty extreme, so I don't know.
I agree. And just so you know, like similar things happen in the egg and dairy industries. Dairy cows are killed, the chickens are killed. Whenever they breed chickens, egg-laying chickens, there's 50% males and 50% females, and the males can't lay eggs. So what do you think happens to them typically?
Are they just slaughtered for their meat, basically?
Day one, they're just put into a giant blender. They basically just drop them into what's called a macerator. It's a series of blending blades that just, So that's the egg industry.
Okay.
So it's all
not good.
Pretty horrible. But I mean, you seem really open-minded and really compassionate, so I think it's awesome, like how you sort of answered these questions today. Would you take a resource if I had one to sort of help you go vegan?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's awesome you guys are out here just starting the conversation. And I think honestly, I mean, maybe I'm a little bit ignorant on this topic, but some of that information isn't really widely distributed, I think. So it's good that it's coming out.
Yeah, we're trying to get it out there. We know.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting film that just came out on Amazon called Pignorant, sort of about this expose into the pig industry. It's in the UK, but most of the places, like even the US, are all kind of the same sort of thing. But it's a really interesting documentary. It's not like 2 hours of that. There's like a tiny bit of that, but it's really like exploring the industry, why it's like this, why we do this, So if that's something you'd want to check out as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Let me get you a resource real quick. All right, so what could I have done better? Well, first, I wish I would have highlighted the enslavement point more in the latter half of the interview, and I wish I would have asked her to define slavery in the first part of the interview. Like, what sorts of things qualify as slavery, to anchor the concept a little more. Also, when it comes to street interviews, typically I'm focused on getting people to become vegan, but not really focused on getting them to become vegan activists. But on this day, I actually had 2 other vegans with me from a local animal rights group, and given what she says at the end and the fact that she has other vegan friends, I probably should have mentioned that animal rights group. And if you've seen my counterintuitive video on social change, which I'll link here, you know why that's particularly important. And if you want to help me make this my full-time career, check out the Patreon in the description. And shout out to Ryan O'Neill, Tom Eisenbeiss, NetBase News, Monstar, David Yastrzemski, and Maxwell Edison.